What's going on, everyone? So, we've got two kind of meh cards to talk about today. So, first up, we've got the Researcher, which is a blue 3-drop, so you could potentially play this on your first turn. And they've got 1 attack, 1 endurance. So, that is really low for being a 3-drop. However, with this card's effect, I feel like those stats are kind of balanced. So, it's only got 1 effect, and it's a long one, as you can see. And it's when you cast a spell, if there are 12 or more spells in your discard pile, look at the top 3 cards from your deck. You may choose a creature from among them and summon it without paying its cost. And then the rest of the cards get shuffled back into the deck. So, this seems like an awful lot to go to, just to be able to play a creature. So, you have to have 12 spell cards in your graveyard. So, you won't be using this until probably at least turn 6 if you get lucky, because that's a lot of spells that you have to get rid of. So yeah, you can play them on your turn, but that uses up your resources. So like All Things Blessing will probably be the best one, mixing this in with the yellow deck for reasons that we'll talk about in just a minute. But that's a 1-drop, so you could potentially play one of those each turn, and then combo it with Pyroblast, or if you get lucky and trigger a Fort Burst, those all get activated, then they will go to your discard pile. So those are a few of the ways to get spells there, like obviously playing them. But I think the way that you want to get the spells into your discard pile is by using the drawing and discarding effects that we've seen on cards such as Merchant of Scrolls or Sanctuary Enforcer, where Merchant of Scrolls is the perfect example, because if you discard a spell card and it's Drago crossed yellow, you can discard it, or you can draw another card. So that'll really let you start loading up your discard pile, but that means you have to be running a lot of spells in order to draw and discard them. So I mean, you need at least 12 spell cards in the graveyard to activate or to meet the condition for this effect, and then you need to play another one in order to activate the effect. So that's at least 13 spell cards right there that you have to be playing, and then that's assuming that you draw all of them. So I really don't like this card right now. The other downside to this card is that you have to play a creature from the 3 cards that you reveal. And I feel like this deck, if you build a deck around this, is going to be really spell heavy. So the chances of you revealing a spell card are going to be much higher than revealing a creature, which limits your choices of what you can summon. So yeah, I feel like this isn't as good as what we needed this to be. And then on top of that, depending on what creatures you're using in this deck, you may only get like one of the elf cards, the 1-drops, and not essentially get something that was quote unquote worth it. So like, is it worth it to play like 4 Zarkos and then risk drawing them and then clogging up your hand with giant monsters instead of the spell cards that you can use? Or do you play a lot of spell cards and not as many monsters and risk getting your forts destroyed faster? So I mean, with a deck like this, maybe this will be a good one to run Terrax Earthshaker in, because you're not playing as offensively, at least in my opinion, with a deck like this. So maybe if you lose your forts earlier on, you'll be able to cast Terrax quicker as a 4-drop. But then, like, you can't really do much after that. So I'm glad we finally got a card that uses the graveyard and focuses on the cards that we're discarding, with all those yellow cards that we've been seeing and blue cards in Merchant of Scrolls case. But I feel like this just isn't the card that we needed. I feel like we need something better. So we still haven't seen the rest of this set. Hopefully something else in there will make this better. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this card down below. I feel like this could be a potentially really fun deck to use if you can pull it off. But anyways, moving on to the second one. We've got Doomfire Avatar, who is a 4-drop red card with 3 attack, 2 endurance. So that endurance is really low. Like, it's not really going to survive an attack if it gets blocked. And then its effect just isn't that great. These 2 cards have been kind of underwhelming to the rest of the stuff that we've been seeing. And I mean, this one is a rare. This one was an uncommon, so that's a little bit more acceptable. But as a rare, this is just... well, let's go over the effect first. So, when this creature is summoned, you may siphon 3. If you do, choose a creature and deal 3 damage to it, or choose a Drago Shield and deal 4 damage to it. So, you're paying 4 to summon this creature, and then you have to siphon 3 from one of your dice. So, if you roll low numbers, you're giving up one of your Drago Shields for that turn, letting your opponent push in on their next turn. Or if you roll high numbers and you're able to protect yourself, you're going to have to siphon 3 and bring it down to a lower number that your opponent can easily break. And then its effect, we've seen something similar to this before in Fafnir, the red double rare dragon, where when it's summoned, you can destroy a Drago Shield and deal 5 damage to a creature. So that is just essentially a better version of this for 2 more resources. So this card, with its choose a creature or choose a Drago Shield, I feel like that really weakens this. As well as the Siphon 3, I just feel like that makes it so much more worse of a card. So yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. I'm not a fan of either of these cards. I mean, the artwork on Doomfire looks awesome. The Researcher, that looks alright. I mean, I really want to see this card work. Hopefully in the future, we'll be able to see something like that, like as we get more sets released. But yeah, make sure to check out Dragoracle and the Facebook page. Links to both of those are down below, as always. And just like every other video, thanks for watching.